Are you?
Well, that's how they're making money? Because I don't know. I am getting a product.
That's a great question. I don't know what the scam is, but they're not a basketball team. I know that.
Overcharging candy, man. $3 for a candy
What,
bar?
Scuba?
So what I've heard and I've seen on the news is there's like it's almost like a pimp. There's a guy. Well, they're not really pimping him out for that, but there's a guy who runs the ring and he sends these kids out to sell this candy at a higher cost. He takes all the money. They get like a very, very, very slim cut of it.
So something similar happened to Amy. We've talked about on the show where the van dropped people off in your neighborhood and they came to your door and you gave them a bunch of money.
I don't know if
Why
a
are
van.
you looking at me like that?
Because I don't know if a van dropped him off, but a man came to my door collecting money to buy food to feed the homeless. And he had a laminated binder.
That's why she's so pro-lamin.
And I could pick from different fruit and vegetable baskets. You know?
Did you ever see the food or get sent? You give him the money and then they do the food there?
No.
Right.
It was that, if I remember correctly, you could choose from different packages. And, like, of course, I was like, well, I want the bountiful one. Mm-hmm. So I gave him my credit card, and he had some app on his phone. And he's like, oh, I can't get it to work. God. Saying this back, it's just all the red flags are there. But I really bonded with him. Like, we talked forever on my porch, and I just thought, wow, this is really great that he's getting an opportunity to get back on his feet, and he's working for a company that's helping others that need help. And so, anyway, he had me just enter manually my card into something because we couldn't get it to work. The website wasn't loading. Listen,
the whole time he's like, I cannot believe this is working.
No, because he told me my neighbor Cynthia or Wendy or something down the street who I don't know because I don't know all the names of the people.
Yeah,
that
they just
live
throw a name
nearby.
out there and get you.
Exactly. I didn't know that then, but now I do. And the thing is, when you come to my door and you are nice and kind and you have a good story, and that's what I have to work on. I know that I cannot be I'm vulnerable in that situation.
Did anything ever happen with your credit card number?
I don't know. I just remember
y'all cancel
y'all
it immediately?
saying, yeah, I mean, no.
I'm hoping we didn't keep homeless people from food, honestly, now at this point.
No.
I do feel like that was a scam.
Lunchbox did the research and went to the website, and Mike D said
That's
that
right, you guys tracked it. It was fake.
Mike D said the website was created, like he could tell that it was a scam, right?
Because it was
like
scam.blogspot.com.
Right. The images were used elsewhere. It's not like they were exclusive to that site.
Were you out the money, or were you able to get it back?
No, I got scammed the money. For sure.
I hate that for you.
Yeah, well, the other day I was in the front yard and some guy tried to scam me. He comes up with his little thing and he's like trying to sell me magazines. I'm like, hey, man, like you're out of date on your scam. Magazines aren't going to work anymore, first of all, because people don't order magazines. Like, man, I'm just out of jail and I'm working for this company.
Oh, my God. My guy was just out of jail.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
And
I'm like,
he was adopted.
Wait, was it somebody who had been on hard times?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
But I asked him to see his like credentials. I was like, oh, let me see your badge, man. You don't need to see my badge. And he got real.
But badge as in,
like,
you needed something laminated. That I guess.
Because he works for a company and he got all frustrated with me. He goes, man, I don't know why you're questioning me. I was like, I'm just asking, man, because like magazines, no one really. And he's like, man, fine. If you want to be like that, I'm out of here. And he got mad and he left. And then I saw a neighbor a couple doors down and called the cops on him. And they were sitting on the curb.
Who? The cop and the guy?
Yeah, there was like three people working the neighborhood, and the cop had him on the sidewalk, like talking to him. And what's crazy is like 4 people had given him checks and ordered the magazine.
Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh.
Hopefully it was Highlights, because I like that one.
Highlights magazine.
Yeah, the dentist.
It was
I always
like
love Highlights.
Life and, like those, I don't even know what other magazines there are, but it was just like National Geographic and.
I was always like, man, I go like to the doctor or something, I'd be like, oh, if I get Highlights in my house, that'd be cool.
Yes, but isn't it crazy they still try to scam you with magazines? Like,
they'll scam you with bountiful broccoli too, apparently, and M&Ms.
Well, I have no idea if this part was true, but when he realized I had adopted, he told me that he had been adopted.
I have an idea that it's not true. I think it was all a lie.
This was his job. Like, so a lot of time, obviously, when people get out of jail, they're not given many opportunities. And this is a company that gives them an opportunity to get back on their feet.
Yeah, that's what he told me.
Or are you saying that's what you think it is? Or
that is what he told me.
Right.
And then he got emotional about his adoption. I honestly don't know what was.
You're being re-scammed right now, not
Yes.
doing anything different.
Right.
You're re-scamming yourself right now.
I know.
She writes him another check. She's like, now that I think about it, okay, thank you guys for sharing that. I just had that situation, and I just wondered.
Yeah, you got scammed. Amy got scammed. Me, I told him, let me see your badge, and he got ticked off.
When was that again?
About 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so you still have a chance to be robbed. All right, cool. All right, let's go to the news.
Bobby's Big
Stories.
More than 800 flights in the U.S. have been canceled as of Wednesday morning. So as of yesterday, airlines are preparing for a surge of passengers ahead of the holiday weekend. Wednesday's numbers are still an improvement. But again, all this is because of weather or staffing shortages. Weather you can't help, staffing shortages, that's a big issue. Being blamed for the problems and everybody going at once. So that's what's up. You could probably have a lot of delays. You're traveling and you're flying, delays. That's from UPI. The old five-finger discount's happening a lot. Apparently about 10% of people shoplift regularly.
Dang, that's a lot.
Back in the day, yeah.
Well, you?
Oh, I mean, yeah.
He goes on talking about scams.
Right, and he's a
I'd
scammer.
hate a scammer. Men and women shoplift equally, by the way. 25% of shoplifters are kids in middle school. Of that section, 25% of them are kids. In the study, they found most shoplifters start in their teens and primarily do it just for the fun and getting away with it more than they actually need it. And that is from shopliftingprevention.org. Did you find, because I found when I was working in retail, especially at Hobby Lobby, I knew how to shoplift. I didn't, but I knew how to shoplift because I was trying to always catch shoplifters. Like I learned from the inside by going, this is what they'll do. This is how I know we set it up. This is how I know we can get away with it. And so by knowing that, I would watch for them, but I could also go into a place and steal pretty easily.
Yeah, I knew how to steal pretty well. Like I worked at a grocery store when I was in high school, and they had a little patio where you could eat. Like if you get something from the deli, go out the side door, eat on the patio. So I tell my buddies, guys, just go in, get the beer, and go out that door. You're gone. So my friends would do beer runs.
So you would tell your friends to steal?
Yeah. I taught them how to get away with it at that store because...
Here's how you steal.
I was like, dude,
wow.
You just go in there, you go out the side door, you got the beer, it's no problem. No one will ever stop you.
You were the insider.
Yeah. Yeah.
You were the inside man.
Yeah,
Guy
man.
inside.
An unregulated body part market is happening. Unregulated body parts as an industry is booming, with heads going for $3,000.
What?
Like real heads?
A nationwide network of stolen body parts involving a Harvard Medical School morgue manager has revealed a thriving and constantly growing market for human remains. Federal prosecutors allege Cedric Lodge 55 stole body parts, including heads and brains, that were donated for research. Lodge, who had worked and managed Harvard's anatomical gift program, I don't think I'd want a gift card from that program. They sold it to buyers. That's crazy. I guess.
But they're doing research.
I think people gifted their bodies to research.
No, I know. I'm kidding. I don't think you get a gift card from them.
I got you.
Yeah, just a little jokey joke.
Yeah.
Federal prosecutors are saying that there was another, we talked about this, a mortuary employee in Arkansas who sold parts on Facebook for nearly $11,000. And a Massachusetts store owner who bought a human skull to create a killer clown doll.
Oh, wow.
And they shared that doll on Instagram because they were so proud of it. That's how they caught that. A body donated for science is often only used for particular parts. And then the other stuff is just kind of, as my grandma would say, extra.
Like for fun?
And there's extra.
Good.
And this is there, so I guess you're supposed to dispose of it, throw them away. But they don't. They sell them, apparently.
Oh.
That is wild. That's from the New York Post. The most dangerous day of the year for dogs is coming up. It's 4th of July. They will run through a fence. If it's outside and they're scared, they'll be so scared they'll run through a fence. I made that mistake a long time ago when I was living in Austin. It wasn't even dark. I didn't realize people would start shooting fireworks at 3 o'clock. My dog, Dusty, ran through a fence, escaped. Luckily, we got him back in the middle of the night. But just be aware that's going to happen. Keep them inside if you can. If you're gone, put your pet in the quietest room in the house. If you can also turn, like, if you're not there, turn music on. Put stuff up to basically camouflage the noise if you can. Make sure the dog's wearing a collar, so if it does happen to get out, that collar and the ID, they can call you. If you can exercise the dog, make it tired, do that before you have to leave, or if you're just there, period, and the dog's going to freak out. So it stinks for dogs because they don't know what's going on. They think that it's World War II. And so just be aware. That's coming up. Next Tuesday, 4th of July, right? Mm-hmm. That's from WDSU. And then finally, South Koreans become younger overnight because they all changed their age. They all
that's
were allowed to
crazy.
change their age.
What?
So, yeah, more than 51 million people in South Korea woke up to find themselves a year or two younger, at least according to the law, under legislation that came into effect Wednesday. All judicial and administrative areas across East Asian countries will adopt the international age system. So some of them, because what would happen is you'd be born and you'd be one.
That's the way their system used to work.
Like, "Wah, oh, look, we got you a baby. It's
You're one. You start at one
Oh, okay.
But really, you're zero.
Got it.
until you turn one.
Crazy. So they all go back a year.
Oh,
I'm going to do that, though. I'm going to start adopting a year younger. mentally, like cognitively. I was watching this person talk.
I don't think you can just do that.
I don't.
No.
What do you mean?
They
I mean,
said that
really.
mentally,
You know what? Heck, I'm going to identify 6'4".
Yes.
Boom, you are.
I mean, you may start. It may boost
Cognitively.
your confidence if you start thinking.
But that's
if you
not
want to
real.
be. But in your mind, it.
But why don't you identify secretly and quietly, but just not outwardly?
Well, this person from MIT was talking about it, so it seems fine. Like I just was watching this video on YouTube about how this study was done where if you like say you're 40 but you start telling yourself you're 38, 37,
What's the
go
difference?
back. You
go back to,
you
like,
live
21.
younger.
I'm dressed like I'm 15 sometimes, so I mean that.
Internally, they started to just be younger and like.
38 though, like how
2 years.
40 to 38 doesn't seem like you're.
I
really
think the
gonna-
point was it doesn't even have to be a drastic move as long as you cognitively start thinking as though you are younger and you're not fearing aging or focusing on I'm getting so old. It's like look at me, I'm so young. That your body reacts to that.
I like it. I just want to end the segment.
Okay.
That's kind of ridiculous.
It's not.
It is.
It's science.
Do you tell other
You
people
just
your
watch
age?
the YouTube. That's like us going. It's laminated, so it's true.
Yeah, but she was a neuroscientist
It's
from
YouTube.
MIT
But how do you prove it,
explaining
though?
it.
I just don't think you
Well,
can go.
I'll
I'm
pull the
going to feel 37 and then feel. 37.
I know, but you didn't also believe my mentally think that you're working out and how it can build a percentage
That's
of muscles.
correct. I also don't believe that.
That
Still
is a
doesn't
true
believe it.
study that was
You
done.
can't just
though.
go. Hold on,
Yes.
envisioning curls.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Wait,
look
can
at
you're
me.
ripped.
What about?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can you mentally say I'm asleep and get more rest?
I don't know that study, Lunchbox. I'm only saying
Don't be an
that
idiot, dude.
the finger weight one, they had a control group, then they had the people that
I'm
lifted
sure.
the
listen,
actual weights.
There is a lot. All seriousness, there's a lot of research on that the mind actually can help the body, right? But my point is, you can't just go, screw it, I'm 32, and then you feel 32.
I don't think it's just like, you suddenly feel 32, but over time you're going to be
You're crazy.
younger. What? Like visualization with like pro athletes, basketball players. They say
That's specific performance though, going forward.
I know, but so many of them, like before a game, close their eyes. That's all they do is visualize
What if
them,
they
like
just
the
visualize they're
shot
getting
going
younger?
in. The
They
shot
wake
going
up
in.
and they're 12.
Yeah, I mean, 'cause
Freaky
if
Friday.
I
Yeah.
visualize that I'm 21, guess what? When I've been down to pick something up off the ground, my knees still pop. I'm not 21.
I understand that y'all are going to hate on this, but there's something to it. It's fine. I'm not saying that you think you're 21 and suddenly you're
If
going
you
to
write that
actually be
down
21.
and you laminate it and you give it to me, I might believe it. All
Okay.
right, we got to go. All right, that's the news. Thank you.
Those were Bobby's Big
Stories.
Sometimes people from Amazon will show up at 11 o'clock, and that's scary. And I get they got a job to do, and sometimes that job takes them a little longer to do because maybe influx in Amazon Prime packages. I don't know. 11 o'clock, somebody's driving in your yard. That freaks me out. So I get it. This one went, it almost super tragic, but there's a person who owns a house in Florida, and they have a pool, and they look back on their pool, and there's somebody on their pool deck, and so they shoot him.
It was an Amazon person?
No, it was a pool cleaner.
Oh, no.
Who went to clean the pool late.
Oh, no.
So I'll read you the story. Yeah. And there was nothing happening here that was purposefully wrong. Bad decisions were made, bad judgments about going to clean a pool without letting somebody know at 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
But yeah, a Florida homeowner shot a pool technician who showed up unannounced. They said the technician made no effort to contact them. Pinellas County Sheriff's Office said that they sent their deputies out. They responded to a burglary in progress after the homeowner heard noises in the pool area. Detectives said that they saw an unknown male on the pool deck. The woman did not recognize the man, became concerned. No one was at home with her. Nobody notified her. So, shot him. The pool boy was put into the hospital, minor injuries. In hindsight, he should have probably let him know he was coming at 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
It's from USA Today. This person, this is not a great decision, but probably, who knows? Kid could have got sick at school, had to leave his job for a few hours. I'll just keep going later on in the evening, didn't think about it. I just don't think they were doing anything on purpose, but that's tough.
And it gets dark around 8 o'clock. So
You're right, it's not midnight.
9's not too late.
Because you're probably just a little late.
Right.
Oh, that stinks. You're in there, you got your big net out there, getting the leaves out.
I mean, thank goodness he's
Didn't die?
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank goodness he didn't die. There's a story too. Sometimes, and not most of the time, but sometimes artists just take advantage of their fans.
Uh-oh.
It just happens because not every artist that's massive is a good person. They're just not. We know some of them that people love and adore, and we're like, they're just not a good person. People really knew. But we know some that are awesome, right? And I think the bads are few. The bad eggs are few. And I'm not saying this is a bad person, and I don't know who Melanie Martinez is, but fans of Melanie Martinez were upset that their $400 VIP package that included a meet and greet was actually meeting with the hologram.
Not
No
really
way.
her. That's messed up.
That's pretty crazy.
Hilarious. Awful. Terrible. I just wonder if it was in some sort of small print, like you're not. So some of Melanie Martinez's fans left her latest tour feeling disappointed after dropping hundreds of dollars on VIP packages. The Void singer-songwriter is currently in the midst of the Portals tour, and some of her fans bought the $400 VIP packages expecting the meet and greet, but they just got the AI-generated hologram. That is awful. It's funny for me because I'm not a part of it. I didn't spend the money on it. That's awful. Quote, does anyone think the VIP AI meet and greet with Melanie is kind of stupid? I mean, the VIP tickets were $400. You didn't even get anything. So one person wrote. It had to be put in there somewhere, right?
Somewhere, for sure.
One fan who purchased the package shared a video of their interactive Portals photo experience. They stood in front of a backdrop as the hologram of Martinez, 28, appeared and posed alongside them. That's funny. That's from people. By the way, when I do meet and greets at my shows, I'll be doing no holograms.
Oh, you're really going to be there?
It's really going to be me. I mean, we don't do a lot of them, but we do a thing. But you also get like great seats, and we do a Q&A, and we do a whole thing. And then we donate from everyone to the animal shelter that we work with. But that hologram thing's hilarious. You just have to do the whole show. Why not?
I can't believe it's that much money, too, for even a meet. They'd pay that even if she was going to be in person.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Well, if this is the girl, she's got 14 million followers on Instagram.
Yeah, I didn't know she was.
14 million.
I'm like, dang.
What country is she from?
The United States of America.
Because I saw the holograms are big in like Japan. They have performing holograms that are stars.
Yeah, if this is the right girl, she's from Baldwin, New York.
That's pretty baller of her to have a hologram that just goes out to meet and greets.
She was on season 3 of The Voice.
Oh, yeah. So she's just like a normal singer, huh?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Get a hologram to do the show, sit in this chair. I just do it from home, though, but it does my voice. Like Wizard of Oz.
Oh, yeah. You don't have to be anywhere.
Dang, that would
Let the hologram do the
be
work.
crazy awesome. Yeah. Tickets tomorrow go on sale, though, for my comedically inspirational show. There will be some VIP stuff up there if you want to get it. 10 a.m., Tulsa, And then all the shows, we've added a second show, Wichita, Tampa, and Nashville, D.C., all that. BobbyBones.com. All right, Jordan Davis, next thing you know, Bobby Bones Show. One up to your house, like the pool guy. Eddie has a situation where he thinks, hey, is this creepy? Am I going to get robbed? Kind of a similar thing. We'll talk about that. We do have some calls, too, that want to talk about flying because that Delta plane had to land with no landing gear, and it went straight and it landed like wiener concrete.
Wiener concrete.
Wild. So we'll get that, and then we'll grab your calls. 877-77-BOBBY. You want to say something to us? We'd love to hear questions, feedback, comments. We'll be back in 1 second. this Delta flight was landing full of normal folks taking a normal flight, and the landing gear wouldn't come down, so they had to land it, skid it down with no wheel. Here is air traffic control.
We have a nose wheel unsafe indication. We're going to have to go ahead and declare an emergency.
That's crazy. And the people in the video were holding their chairs, and they're fine. Thank God those pilots were dialed in, ready to go. They landed that plane because they've never been able to practice that except like virtually, digitally.
Yeah, that's true.
Simulation.
Yep. Because you don't get in a plane, a real one, and go, okay, we're going to land this one with no wheel.
Right, we're going to skid this one on
Yeah,
purpose.
you just do it in a computer. So they really got to go, well, this one's real now. That's crazy. So shout out to the pilots who did that, and everybody's fine. But we start talking about crazy flights that we'd been on. Hey, I want to put Paige on, who lives in College Station, Texas. Hey, Paige, welcome to the show. What's going on?
Morning, studio.
Morning.
All right, so I was just listening in about the airline that you were talking about, and I wanted to share my first-time experience on a plane.
Go ahead.
All righty, so we were flying into Kansas City, Missouri for a work summit, and mind you, like I said, this was my first time, and so everybody on the plane, and fortunately, the entire plane was our whole staff because we have a big company. So everybody knew it was my first time, and they were all excited for me. Well, flying into Kansas City, Missouri, I guess we caught a lot of turbulence, and the nose, or the wiener, as Bobby would say, kind of hit the runway first.
Oh.
And then our back of the plane, like, skirted to the right, and then the pilot had to skirt it to the left again. So it was all like this quick movement, and everybody was like scared and yelling, and I was just sitting there minding my own business and not even freaking out or anything. Well, then everybody looks at me because they know this was my first time, and they were like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what do you mean?" They're
That's
like,
normal.
"It's not really supposed to be like this." And I'm like, "Oh, well, I was expecting far worse," and so that was nothing.
Yeah, every
But
flight
I
from now
thought-
on is easy now.
Hilarious.
You done gone through it.
You're like, this is interesting.
Yeah, you're like, I definitely could see where this could be a little iffy, but we got through it. Yeah, great. Thank you for sharing that story. I appreciate that. Let's go over and talk. Oh, so I'm sorry. Did I cut her off? Oh, my bad.
She dropped.
Okay, sorry about that. Let's go over and talk to Dave in Delaware. Hey, Dave, you're on the Bobby Bone Show. What's going on, buddy?
Good morning.
Morning, buddy.
So I was a crew chief or an aircraft mechanic for 24 years and also flight engineer in the Air Force. So there's lots of ways to simulate testing systems out on the ground. For example, to actually bring the gear up on the ground, you have to put the airplane up on jacks, which takes a whole team of people. And so you can do retractions and extensions to make sure all the components are working the way they're supposed to work. Also, steering. I heard you talk about steering earlier. So you take a couple of big sheets of metal, put a lot of grease between them, and put the nose gear on those plates so you can actually test the steering mechanism.
How often do they check that wheel, though? Because they can't do it every flight. And obviously they check a lot of stuff when it lands, but how often can they lift that wheel up? Because I never see that wheel up.
You won't see it there. You won't see it on the apron at the airport. So they'll take them over into another hangar area. They'll put it up in jacks. They'll do a quite extensive inspection on the aircraft. When you see the paperwork for these inspections, it's almost 1 to 2 feet tall of paper because they do different inspections on a specific frequency or so many flight hours. So they're being looked at all the time visually and also, like I said, on a more extended look.
I hear you. I feel like airline industry made him call in to say that stuff.
But he worked for the Air Force.
Hey, he can say whatever he wants. It's a conspiracy. No, I believe him. Thank you for that call. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Hope you have a great day. We were talking earlier, too, about a pool guy who decided to go clean a pool at 9 o'clock. Why? I don't know. Maybe he was running late all day, went to clean a pool at 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock at night.
Yeah. Good call. And the lady was like, who is this? And shoots him. Because he didn't say, hey, I'm coming to clean the pool at night at 9 o'clock.
And she was home alone. And
He didn't die.
Thankfully.
But it was a lot of unfortunate decisions. With her, too, I wonder, did she just, quietly sniper him? Because if you just go hey, what are you, I got a gun, you should run.
Identify yourself.
Yeah, something.
I'm the pool guy.
Yeah.
I wonder, is she just behind the couch with the gun going, right? I know he's got a net in the water, but Because again, and I understand I've had really crazy things happen with me security-wise, but he never knew it was coming. And if he's outside, regardless of that, something kind of weird's been happening with Eddie. Tell them what you think's happening to you.
Yeah, I think, like, I don't know. It just seems shady. So I've been trying to get a drywall guy to fix something on my house, and we've been going back and forth with dates. Like, oh, can I come Wednesday? Like, oh, Wednesday, what time? Oh, it's not working, whatever. So finally he said, you know what? Why don't you just leave me a key, and I'll go. And when I don't care if you're home or not, and I'll just do it, and then I'll just get out of there. And I was like, it sounds convenient, right? Like,
and how well do you know this person?
I don't know him. I found him online. Don't know him at all. And so I'm thinking, like, is he trying to steal? Like, just tell me, go out of town, go and don't be home. I will fix your house, and then he just like robs everything.
Boy, it is expecting a lot of trust for somebody you don't know just to leave your key to your house.
I've never heard anyone say that when they're trying to work on your house.
I could understand if it's somebody you worked with a lot. Like, we have a guy that's like our go-to guy. If something breaks, we'll call him. And if he were like, hey, just leave your door unlocked, I'll come over there too. I'd be like, yeah, of course, you're coming in the house all the time. Somebody I don't know? No chance.
I gave that worker my code.
Yeah.
There we go. Same thing.
But I can change it.
Yeah, but
all your stuff would be gone.
Yeah, he still was able to use it. And I said, okay, fine, but I'm going to change it. You know, I made sure he knew.
So I tell my guy, I'm going to change the key.
I'm going to move my house. So
this is a temporary key.
So did you get robbed?
No, he did the job. He did threaten to murder me, but remember?
Wait, what?
As a joke.
Yeah,
it was a terrible joke. You can't make that joke when you don't know the person.
What did he say?
He said, I said,
like,
okay, I guess I could give you the code. And he's like, I'm going to come in at night and murder you or something. And I was like, no.
That's like Ray's joke of like, we're all going to die on the plane as it hits turbulence.
Bad joke.
Yeah, sometimes you just...
He was totally joking, but it just was not, didn't need it.
Our stupid home alarm went off again last night.
Again?
Yeah. And there's something it's new, and so like something not set up exactly right. Boop, boop. It scares the crap. I don't recognize the sound yet either. And so we had to do the whole song and dance. I had to go look through every room just to make sure, even though I knew it was nothing. And the company was like, hey, you can just turn the volume down on it. So if something's not right, you won't hear it. And I'm like, I don't want that.
Yeah, no. That's like taking the battery out of the...
Yeah, because then someone will break
it.
in.
Yeah, I don't want that. And so it hit again last night. And I had to get up and do the whole routine. And I'm genuinely scared. I just can't show it. Because my wife will lose respect for me. She won't say that. But if I'm like, I'm not going out there. And she'll be like, I understand, but I can't. I have to be the person that go. And so that's what we did. Ella and I went through the house again.
But if it does it again tonight, won't you know it's just a little malfunction?
Yeah, but that's what happens. Then the third time, it's somebody who set me up the whole time, comes in and kills me.
Oh, like a cry wolf thing?
They've been setting up the sensors. Okay. So we dealt with that. And I last night, I woke up doing this. Outside of that, my two calves went full cramp.
While you were sleeping?
While I was asleep.
Whoa.
It's only ever happened one time, kind of. My calves went 2 balls, right, and I still can't take my toes and tilt them up without it being hurting because it's so sore. Why would I Googled it.
Are you dehydrated?
I think we all live dehydrated, honestly.
Yeah, same. My feet.
But that makes your calves cramp when you sleep?
My feet are doing that because of dehydration. No, but lately.
They just curl up.
They sort of, they
should just act younger.
They just
feel younger. Just tell yourself your feet's
or,
younger.
Tell yourself you're hydrated.
Tell myself I'm hydrated, right?
Tell yourself.
But your brain is 75% water. You do need it. So my feet just I almost can't even walk on them. But I do think it's hydration.
Well, if that's the case, then I'll have a couple more swallows of water. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I woke up yelling. Going,
Yes.
Did that set the alarm off?
No, it was after the alarm. Okay. So then I think my wife's like, we had an alarm go off. Andy's screaming. She's all over the place.
What a night.
Like, what's happening? Yeah, that happened last night. All right, thank you guys. Bobby Bones Show.